Meghan Markle has officially earned the title of Villain of the Year. What makes this especially juicy is that the title comes from her very own backyard in Los Angeles. While the award season in Hollywood is just getting started, the Duchess of Sussex has already secured a title that no PR efforts can turn into something positive. An iconic LA boutique has publicly slammed Meghan Markle's name, and the timing couldn't be worse. Kitson, the trend-setting store on Robertson Boulevard that's been a staple in celebrity culture for years, has unveiled its annual Hollywood Hypocrisy window display. This tradition, which began in 2020 to call out pandemic-era fakers and virtue signalers, has since become one of LA's most anticipated annual takedowns. This year, Meghan Markle takes center stage as the main villain, featured on a mocked-up magazine cover that ruthlessly attacks her public image. The boutique's owners have gone a step further, labeling her a Montecito diva in a savage roast of everything she claims to stand for. But Meghan isn't alone. She's placed alongside other public figures accused of similar performative hypocrisy, including California Governor Gavin Newsom, who once defended the Sussexes and their charitable work. George Clooney, a former friend of theirs, also makes an appearance, as does Katy Perry. However, Meghan is the main attraction, and the boutique has made sure everyone knows exactly why she earned this infamous title. What makes this public call-out even more crushing is its location. This isn't just some distant tabloid taking shots from overseas. This is happening just miles away from her $14.7 million Montecito mansion. Right in the heart of the entertainment industry, Meghan Markle has been striving to conquer. The people who shop at Kitson are the same Hollywood insiders Meghan has been trying to impress for years, the influencers and industry figures whose approval she has been after since moving to California. Now, these very people are walking past a display that brands her as the ultimate hypocrite. The mock magazine cover displayed features bold headlines that call out Meghan for everything critics have pointed out, from her disconnect between her lavish lifestyle and her social justice messages to her ongoing family issues. The boutique owners clearly did their research, compiling every controversial moment, every misstep, and every contradiction over the past few years. This isn't just gossip, this is a calculated takedown from people who have been watching her every move from their own neighborhood. The magazine cover reveals much more than just a villain title. It's a deep dive into the public's view of her, and it cuts through her carefully constructed image. The cover boldly brands her as the Montecito diva, reflecting the stark contrast between her down-to-earth image and her ultra-privileged lifestyle. But that's just the beginning. One headline even mocks Meghan and Harry as the most unpopular kids in school, a jab referencing polling data showing the couple's falling approval ratings. This is especially painful considering Meghan left the British royal family because she felt unwelcome, only to face similar rejection in the US. The once expected Hollywood welcome quickly faded. The cover also mocks Meghan's lifestyle brand by exposing the fact that her jam, which she's marketed as homemade, is actually produced 2,000 miles away from her California home. This detail directly challenges the authenticity of her brand, adding fuel to the accusations of hypocrisy. There's also the farmers market incident where Meghan ignored a no dogs rule, bringing her pet along and turning a routine outing into a staged photo opportunity, all while breaking the rules everyone else had to follow. Perhaps the most embarrassing headline references Meghan's infamous Harper's Bazaar feature, where she was announced to an audience of just one person. The dramatic introduction and self-importance were clear, revealing her need for validation even in situations that didn't require it. The display doesn't miss a beat, calling out every carefully constructed moment and every supposedly candid photo, with the community now holding up a mirror Meghan can't ignore. The boutique has created a visual catalog of her contradictions, and passers-by are reading every headline. But one headline stands out above the rest: Meghan's choice to wear $82,000 worth of jewelry for her Netflix special, a glaring example of hypocrisy. While promoting a message of relatability and warmth, Meghan draped herself in diamonds worth more than many people's annual salary, a stark contrast to her supposed commitment to social justice. This fashion choice further exposed the disconnect between her image and reality. It wasn't just about the jewelry, it was part of a larger pattern of extravagance that contradicted everything Meghan claimed to stand for. Meghan and Harry's $14.7 million Montecito mansion, complete with ocean views and security gates, stands in stark contrast to their public messaging about equality and authenticity. While most Americans struggle with rising housing costs, they are sending out picture-perfect holiday cards from their gated paradise, while lecturing others on inequality. And then there's the private jet situation, which has followed them for years. Despite their climate change advocacy, they took 4 private jet trips in just 11 days in 2019, a move that critics called out for hypocrisy. The couple dismissed concerns and continued their lavish lifestyle, acting as if the rules they set for others didn't apply to them. One observer summed up the absurdity by comparing their minimalism rhetoric to posting about simplicity from a walk-in closet. The analogy reflects everything that's wrong with the Sussex brand. They want credit for values they don't live by, recognition for sacrifices they don't make, and praise for authenticity they don't embody. Meghan's cultivated image of humility clashes with the reality of her extravagant lifestyle. The Hollywood hypocrisy display was created to call out this type of performative virtue, and Meghan Markle has certainly provided enough material to fill an entire storefront. However, the accusations of material hypocrisy seem minor compared to the personal betrayals that have earned her the villain status. Her strained relationship with her own family has become a public spectacle. Even her critics find difficult to watch. This particular Villain of the Year title stings more than usual because it coincides with a painful time in her father's life. Thomas Markle, who raised her, supported her education, and helped her pursue her acting dreams, is now battling serious health complications, including a recent leg amputation. Yet Meghan, the woman who advocates for compassion and family values, has remained almost entirely silent during his medical crisis. The timing is devastating because it strips away any pretense of the caring persona she's worked so hard to maintain. She films cooking shows about family, human connection, and creating warmth, yet her own father is in a hospital without so much as a public acknowledgement from her famous daughter. The contradiction between her public image and her actions could not be more glaring. Meghan reportedly claims to have reached out to her father, but those close to him say otherwise. There's a pattern of silence during his previous health emergencies, including a stroke that left him hospitalized, making any reconciliation attempts feel insincere. Critics have pointed out the odd reality that random strangers on the internet have shown more concern for Thomas Markle than her own daughter has. One moment during her Netflix special made this clear, when Meghan asked Naomi about her favorite holiday pastime, and Naomi simply answered, "family." Meghan's reaction to this was telling. Her jaw tightened, and she quickly changed the topic to rest and relaxation, avoiding the family discussion at all costs. This moment revealed that Meghan cannot engage authentically with the concept of family because her own family relationships are in ruins, destruction that many believe she herself caused. The paparazzi setup before her wedding, which led to her father's public humiliation, severed their relationship at a critical moment. Whether or not she directly arranged those photos, using the controversy to justify cutting him off speaks volumes. She preaches family unity while her own family tree looks like a battlefield. Both the Markles and the Windsors have been alienated, dismissed, and publicly criticized by her. She has burned bridges with virtually everyone connected to her by blood or marriage, yet films content about togetherness and connection. Kitson didn't just stumble upon this narrative. The boutique has been building a case against the Sussexes for years, documenting their hypocrisy like investigative journalists. The villain title isn't a sudden attack, but rather the culmination of years of careful observation. Back in 2023, Kitson already roasted the couple in their Hollywood hypocrisy window, labeling them eco-hypocrites for preaching environmental responsibility while taking private jet trips. The display became a hit in the Sussexes' own LA neighborhood, proving that the people around them were not buying what they were selling. Kitson's founder, Fraser Ross, has explained that he's committed to accountability, calling out celebrity hypocrisy no matter how powerful the targets are. The boutique has successfully tapped into a market tired of the Sussex drama.
Even during the height of the royal Rift family feud, merchandise supporting William and Catherine sold better than the Sussex-themed shirts, revealing that public sympathy leaned away from Meghan and Harry.
The store's sustained criticism reflects a broader shift in how the Sussexes are perceived, even in Hollywood, where they sought acceptance. Meghan's social circle, once full of powerful allies, has been shrinking, and moments like this explain why. Nobody wants to be associated with the Duchess if it means risking their reputation. Even George Clooney, once considered a close friend, is now included in the same display, showing that even the most powerful connections can't protect against scrutiny. Meanwhile, Meghan's professional ventures are collapsing. Her lifestyle brand is hemorrhaging traffic, with website views dropping significantly, especially during the holiday season when traffic should have peaked. Netflix also decided not to carry her products in their stores, a blow after they had invested heavily in her content. The stark contrast between her intended image and the reality of her lifestyle continues to tarnish her public standing. The rejection from Netflix stings deeply because Meghan Markle seemed to be counting on the streaming giant to handle much of her product distribution. Without their support, she's been forced into desperate tactics to move inventory. Her latest move has been pop-up shops at venues like Godmother's Bookstore and Soho House, hoping that a strategic location in familiar spaces might generate the sales her online traffic couldn't. While pop-ups can work for brands with a huge following and strong cultural relevance, they rarely save businesses that lack these assets. This strategy feels less like clever marketing and more like a last-ditch effort from someone running out of options. One pop-up, in particular, created controversy when wine bottles appeared alongside other merchandise on display tables. An investigation revealed that Godmother's had applied for an alcohol license in June 2024, but it hadn't been approved by the time the event took place in November 2025. California law requires proper licensing for selling alcohol, including bottled wine. When asked about it, representatives claimed the bottles were merely decorative, filled with water. However, photographs clearly showed sealed bottles of rose, raising doubts about the Sussexes' version of events. These pop-up issues are just symptoms of a larger problem with the entire As Ever operation. The business model was flawed from the start. The failure of As Ever can't simply be blamed on bad luck or poor market conditions. Its problems were built into the concept from the very beginning. A business model that required flawless execution, yet Meghan was unable to deliver. The strategy relied on a synergy between her Netflix show and product line, each one promoting the other in a seamless lifestyle ecosystem. But that vision fell apart before the first episode even aired. The original idea was elegant. With Love, Meghan would showcase products from her brand in natural, non-pushy ways. Throughout the show, viewers would see Meghan using her jams, homeware, and other lifestyle products in real settings, which would inspire them to recreate the same aesthetic at home. With the products conveniently available for purchase, the show would drive sales would validate the show, and the whole operation would build momentum each week. Instead, Meghan delivered chaos. The branding shifted from American Riviera Orchard to As Ever, confusing potential customers and diluting the brand recognition she had tried to establish. The timeline slipped as she struggled with product finalizations, packaging, and distribution. Netflix, having invested heavily in the content, pushed forward with the release regardless of whether the products were ready. The result was a missed opportunity. By the time With Love, Meghan premiered, the products meant to be featured were still not available. The cross-promotional strategy collapsed because there was nothing to promote. Viewers who might have been inspired to buy had no products to purchase. By the time As Ever products finally came to market, the show's buzz had passed, and public interest had moved on. Beyond the logistical failures, the products themselves failed to make an impact. Reviews were mediocre, with critics noting that the As Ever line didn't offer anything exceptional or innovative. The products weren't priced competitively, nor did they stand out from countless similar items already available on the market. They existed solely because of Meghan's celebrity, offering no real reason for consumers to choose them over established alternatives. This leaves the brand completely reliant on Meghan's personal appeal. And that's precisely where the math stops working. Celebrity lifestyle brands require their founders to have true star power, authentic charisma, and the ability to make audiences feel a personal connection to their world. Meghan Markle lacks these qualities in sufficient amounts. Her public image comes across as calculated rather than genuine. Her lifestyle feels more alienating than aspirational, and her constant controversies undermine any warmth she attempts to project. She doesn't have the creative vision to make products that people want, nor the salesmanship to convince them otherwise. Not everyone is cut out to carry a brand, and Meghan is learning this lesson the hard way. Her business failures reflect a larger shift in Hollywood's view of her. The kitchen window display highlights a growing exhaustion with her narrative that has been brewing since the backlash surrounding her role as the Spare. The entertainment industry, once eager to welcome her into its ranks, is now tired of the drama, the victimhood narrative, and the relentless controversies that seem to follow her everywhere. Los Angeles created the Hollywood hypocrisy display specifically to call out people who preach values they don't practice. And Meghan has become the poster child for this type of performative activism. Every time she makes a humanitarian statement, it's undercut by her lifestyle choices. Every call for compassion is contradicted by her treatment of her family. The industry watches, takes note, and eventually, those notes turn into public mockery. George Clooney's inclusion in the display adds another layer to this rejection. Once considered close friends of Harry and Meghan, the Clooneys now find themselves in the same rogues gallery. Whether it's guilt by association or their own controversies, the optics are terrible for anyone still hoping the Sussex brand has social currency. Observers have noted that Meghan has never quite mastered the art of authentic connection, which successful celebrities seem to do naturally. Her public appearances often feel rehearsed, and her emotional moments seem more performed than genuine. One critic described her as someone constantly fixated on how she comes across, always monitoring her angles, expressions, and emotions, rather than being present in the moment. Despite her background in acting, she hasn't been able to convince the public of her sincerity. The disaster tourist label stuck after her appearance at the LA fire relief efforts, where she showed up in designer clothes, giving the appearance of an elaborate photo op while real victims struggled nearby. Hugging her own Archwell employees for the cameras instead of genuinely helping fueled the accusations of performative compassion. Some believe that true authenticity might save her, suggesting that if she dropped the facade and revealed her true self, flaws and all, it could be both entertaining and endearing. The public tends to forgive almost anything except inauthenticity. However, Meghan seems unable to embrace that vulnerability, too concerned with maintaining the perfect image to risk showing what lies beneath. The situation with her father has made any potential for rehabilitation even harder to achieve. That relationship has come to symbolize everything people distrust about her character. So, what does this mean for the future of the Sussex brand? The verdict is becoming undeniable. This is no longer random mockery from anonymous trolls or distant British tabloids. This is Meghan Markle's own community, those who live near her, shop at the same boutiques, and move in the same social circles, deciding that she represents everything wrong with celebrity culture. Villain of the Year is more than just a catchy window display title. It's a cultural verdict handed down by the very jury Meghan Markle has been trying to win over, the Hollywood elite. Her rapid fall from royal bride to Hollywood pariah has taken just 6 years. Back in 2018, Meghan was the American actress who captured a prince's heart, a fairy tale that captured global attention. Millions watched her wedding, cheered as she entered the royal family, and wished her well. Now, she struggles to maintain any credibility in her own neighborhood. The fall has been as spectacular as it has been self-inflicted. Every accusation in that kitchen display traces back to Meghan's own choices. She chose to preach environmental responsibility while flying on private jets. She chose to advocate for the underprivileged while flaunting $82,000 in jewelry. She chose to film content about family togetherness while ignoring her father's medical crises. She chose to position herself as relatable while living behind security gates in a mansion most people could only dream of. The hypocrisy isn't concocted by critics, it's documented by her own actions. Her business partners are abandoning ship faster than ever. Netflix won't carry her products, her website traffic is plummeting, and her pop-up shops are causing more controversy than sales. The holiday season, which was supposed to save her brand, as ever, has only confirmed its failure. Even the celebrity friends who once supported her are either distancing themselves or finding themselves in the same hypocrisy spotlight.
This Sussex brand has become toxic in ways no one could have predicted just a few years ago. The ultimate irony is almost too perfect. Meghan left the royal family because she felt trapped, unappreciated, and unfairly criticized. She came to Hollywood expecting the entertainment industry to embrace her as the star she always thought she was. Instead, she's found a rejection even more complete than what she experienced in Britain. At least the royal family kept their criticisms behind closed doors. Hollywood puts them on display for everyone to see. Whether Meghan can recover from this level of local rejection is still up for debate. Some celebrities have rehabilitated worse reputations, but they typically had self-awareness, something Meghan seems to lack. Redemption requires acknowledging mistakes, and Meghan has shown no willingness to admit fault for anything. The victim narrative has been her shield for so long that abandoning it now might feel impossible. One thing is certain, Meghan Markle wanted to be Hollywood royalty. Instead, she's been crowned its villain. That title might just be the most honest recognition she's ever received. Drop your thoughts below. Do you think Meghan can recover from becoming a joke in her own backyard? Like, subscribe, and stay tuned. You won't believe what's coming next.